You may not be aware of it, but there are actually 6 things in life that keeps you from getting ahead and impedes your progress and your financial well-being. I've spent the last 15 years deep diving into the world of money and finance. I've read over 50 books, watched thousands of videos. God alone knows how many podcasts I've listened to, and I've learned some really important things along the way, and I'm going to share that with you today. This video is probably going to be the most important video that you've ever watched in your life. So give me your undivided attention. In just a couple of minutes, I'm going to share with you what took me years to learn. So I'm going to save you a lot of time and a lot of headache. 1, not knowing your actual income and expenses. Believe it or not, there are many people out there who don't actually know what they make or how much they spend every month. If you ask some people, what's the exact figure that you take home after you pay all your taxes and expenses? They're clueless. Now, if you don't know where your starting point is, how on earth are you going to get to that destination that you want to get to? Let's do a little test. If I were to ask you this month, how much did you actually earn, or what was your income for the month, your exact figure, would you be able to tell me? Now, if I were to ask you what's the exact figure that you spent, penny to penny, dollar to dollar, would you be able to tell me that? Well, if your answer was no to any one of those 2 questions, you're already on the wrong path, my friend. What's the solution for this? It's very simple. You got to make a journal. You got to keep a record of every single penny and every single dollar that you spend on a daily basis. And if you do that, by next month, you would see a huge rise in what you save and what you put away, and then you would realize how many things you spend on that you didn't really need and how many things that you spend on that you shouldn't have. 2, getting comfortable with bad debt. Is it just me, or is it like the new norm that everyone thinks that using debt to buy anything is just like a normal thing nowadays? Well, I've got news for you. That's not normal. It shouldn't be this way at all. It's like people are using debt to buy the smallest, tiniest of things in their life. That's not the right way to do it. I have one serious rule that I stick by. If I cannot afford to buy something outright with cash, then I'm not buying that at all. Period. I never use a credit card to buy something unless I know that I have the cash to pay that credit card off right away the minute I buy it. And if I can't do that, that item is just sitting there. I'm not taking that. Which brings me to a whole other subtopic about credit cards and how we should use our credit cards. Your credit card should actually be used as a debit card. You need to learn to use your credit cards the right way. It should act as a debit card, but you get the additional benefits from the card. Would you believe me if I told you I've never paid a single penny in interest to any bank or any financial institution for all my life? Yeah, you heard right. Not a single penny. Even back in the day when I was struggling, I stick to living within my means, and I only bought what I could have afforded at that certain point in time by buying everything in cash. And if I couldn't afford it, I just did without it. Now, am I saying that all debts are bad and using credit cards are bad? No, but there's a right way to do these things and a right way to use these tools that are available to us. Do me a favor and do yourself a big favor. The next time you're about to swipe that card or tap that card, I want you to open your online account and I want you to check to see if you have that money sitting in your account that you can afford to pay that card off right away the moment you exit that store. If you can't do that, my friend, leave that thing sitting right there on the shelf. Now, I know this may sound a little bit extreme, but hey, no one said this was going to be easy. But if you really want to be successful, it takes a little bit of sacrifice and discipline. Why do you think credit card companies and financial institutions and banks are so wealthy and they make so much money? Because they rely on people like you and me to get ourselves into debt. Do you know what the average credit card interest rate is here in the US right now? It's 20%, a little over that actually. So even if you take into consideration all the benefits like the miles and the points and everything that you get from the card, if you cannot afford to pay that card off right away and you pay a little bit of interest on that, that cancels out all of the benefits that you get from that card. Now, you may notice that in the heading of this point, I said bad debt and not all debt. That's because there's a reason not all debt is bad. Some debts can actually be good debt. And what's an example of that? Let's say you go to the bank and you take out a loan to purchase a 2-bedroom apartment. You take that apartment and you don't actually live in the apartment, you rent it out to someone. So let's say your monthly payment is $1,000 and you rent it out for $1,500. Now, after all expenses, if you can keep a little bit of money in your pocket after paying the interest and paying the mortgage and everything, if you get to keep a little bit of that money, that debt actually becomes good debt for you. So there's a difference. There's bad debt, there's good debt. Credit cards are usually bad debt if you can't pay it off in time. So if you use a loan to buy an asset instead of a liability, that loan actually, it becomes good debt because you actually bought an asset with the loan and not a liability. Assets make you money while liabilities just suck money right out of you. So if you buy income generating assets with your loan, then that debt, instead of being bad debt, becomes good debt. 3, paying yourself last. There are basically 2 ways that people pay their bills and spend their money. The first way is when you pay yourself last. I call this the poor people way. Most people, as soon as they get their paycheck, what's the first thing they do? They pay all their bills, they pay their rent, their utility bills, their subscriptions, and they just try to save whatever is left over from that. That is totally the wrong way. You want to know how rich people do it? They actually pay themselves first. So they do the complete opposite. Before they pay a single bill or do anything with their paycheck, they take at least 10% of that and they stash it away. At least 10%. It is so important that you do this, so much so that you should treat putting 10% away from your paycheck every day like a bill or something that you need to do or you have to do. It is so important. And yeah, I know this could be difficult. Some people say, I just can't do that. Well, you can actually trick yourself into saving that money. Like for instance, pretend that your rent payment is double what you really have to pay. So if your rent is like $1,000, pretend that your rent is $2,000 and take that extra $1,000 and just stash it away. This way, you're going to guarantee that you're going to save that 10% every month instead of just letting it slip through your fingers on spending it on buying some silly thing that you could have just done without. And some people will say there's absolutely no way in hell I can do that. I live paycheck to paycheck, and I get it. No one said this was going to be easy. But the thing is, if you actually start putting that 10% away, you're going to get so accustomed to it, and your mind will actually start telling you that that 10% of that money just does not even exist. And you'll adapt and you'll find new ways to do without it. And you'll automatically start structuring your expenses so that you can last the entire month even after putting that 10% away. And eventually, it's going to become a norm. You're not even going to realize that you're taking that 10% and you're stashing it away every month. You're going to get so accustomed doing it, it's just going to be a normal thing for you. The big problem is that most people don't even realize every month how much money just slips through their fingers buying just silly, unnecessary things that they don't need in their life. And then they just try to save whatever is left over. This is a really poor way of thinking and doing things. So what do? You got to pay yourself first instead of taking that money and making other people rich by buying their products and services. Every single month when you get your paycheck or whatever form of income you live on, take 10% at least and put it away. Do like it does not even exist. Sacrifice and do without it. 4, lifestyle inflation. You've probably never heard of lifestyle inflation, but trust me, it's a thing. This is where some people, as soon as they get like a raise in their salaries or they develop a new source of income, they automatically, what's the first thing they do? They buy a new house, they buy a new car, they upgrade their furniture, buy new clothes, get extra subscriptions. They do everything because they just got a new source of income or some more money coming into them every month. This is totally the wrong way to go about it. If you start earning more, you got to do one thing: continue to live your life like you've always been living it, and take that extra income and just put it away. Save it. This is one of the best ways to grow and become more successful. I like to call it the hidden wealth. This is where you're getting wealthier by the day, but no one knows about it except you. And 5, expensive habits and hobbies. Yeah, we all got them. Now, a lot of people love shopping, and it's not uncommon to hear some people call it retail therapy. How do I know this? My wife calls it that. And this is where we make some of the biggest blunders in our life. Think about it. How many things did you actually buy this month that you could have done without and you didn't need? Seriously, think about it. So what's the solution for this? Well, okay, here's what you're going to do. From now on, right this minute, every single time you go into a store, every time you go onto the Amazon website or your favorite e-commerce website, before you click buy or before you put that thing into your shopping cart, I want you to literally ask yourself, do I need this? Can I do without it? Is my life going to be catastrophic if I don't buy this? And if the answer is no, well, just leave that thing right there. Trust me, if you do this, you're going to thank me later. Now, am I saying to just live a poor life or just starve yourself? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. Live a good life. What I'm saying is, before you buy anything, just ask yourself a simple question. Do I really need this? Is it necessary? I'm not saying to go and live a poor life or anything like that. Live comfortably, but stop buying the unnecessary things that you just don't need. You know, I remember a time back in the good old days when you actually needed to have physical cash, like paper notes and coins in your pocket to actually buy something. It's not like that anymore. It has become so easy to spend our money now. Before, we used to just take our plastic card and swipe it. They thought that was too hard. Let's make it easier for them. Tap, give it to them. Let them just tap and go. Then that even became harder for them. They was like, let's make it easier. Let's put it on their watches. You know, instead of having to pull the card out, you just tap your watch and you go. They just keep finding ways to make it easier and easier for us to keep spending our hard-earned money. I remember back in the day, if you were at a store and you ran out of money and you finished your cash and all that, what did you do? You had to go the hell home. You had to go home because your money's done. Now you just pull out the card and tap it. Whether you have that money or not, you're just going to take the items up and go home with it. It's like we just keep getting tricked by these multi-billion-dollar companies all the time to spend our hard-earned money while they sit on their fancy yachts drinking their champagne laughing at us. Do you think they're crazy that they spend billions of dollars advertising and putting products into our head, telling us what to buy and how to spend our money? No, they know exactly what they're doing. We just need to be smarter about it. So the next time you're going to buy something, please, please, please ask yourself, do I actually need this thing? And 6, waiting too long to invest. Remember that point that we made earlier about saving the 10% every month? Well, eventually, when you keep doing that, you're going to accumulate a chunk of savings that you can actually put towards investments. And the sooner you start investing that savings, the better for you. You see, the trick into getting rich is to actually have money work for you and not the other way around. You want the money to work for you. You don't want to be working for the money. Most people wait too long to start investing and they miss out on one of the most important things in life. Time. The absolute worst thing you can do is to keep your money just sitting in a savings account, because there's this little thing called inflation. Not really a little thing, it's a big thing. Inflation just eats away at your money without you even knowing it. Every single day that you keep money sitting in a savings account without making money for you, you're actually losing money by the hour, by the day, by the month, by the year. You're losing money. It seems like most of us are always finding some kind of excuse for not investing, like, I don't know where to start, or I don't have the money, or I think it's too risky. But I have news for you. The longer you wait to start investing, the harder it's going to be for you to get to that level and get to that position where you want to be, compared to someone who started investing earlier than you. Why is this so important? Because there's something called the compound effect that favors early investors. The more time you have in your investments, the quicker they grow. I'll make a whole separate video on this topic because it's so important and it'll be too lengthy for this video, but this is a super important thing. You need to start investing. And these are the 6 very important topics that you need to keep in mind. Now, I would like you to do yourself a favor. Go back from the beginning and watch this video again and let these things sink into your mind. They are super important. And if you stick to it, you're going to see a drastic change in your life and you're going to get to where you want to be a lot quicker. And trust me, your future self is going to thank you so much for doing this. So this is the part where I say, go ahead, smash up all those buttons down there. Let's stay connected. If we stay together and we listen and we grow together, we're going to get ahead much quicker. Go ahead, smash them up, and I'll see you in the next video.